Hello there, my brave friends. I am just so incredibly thrilled you're here with me today for a brand new explainer adventure. So go ahead, get cozy, settle in, because we're diving into a story about something literally all of us face, no matter how big or small we are. Today, we're unpacking the anatomy of incremental courage. We're going to follow the journey of a young boy who found himself staring down a very quiet, almost invisible dragon. Now, this wasn't a dragon with, green scales or fiery breath. It was that feeling inside his tummy that felt just as huge and honestly just as scary. Let's jump right into this explainer and figure out exactly how we can shrink that dragon right down to size.
Now, I want you to use your imagination for a second. Imagine a fear so absolutely huge, so towering and heavy, that you don't even know how to beat it. Have you ever felt that way? Where your feet feel like they're literally glued to the floor and this chilly breeze just seems to blow right through your heart? What do you actually do when a fear feels way bigger than you are? Do you try to fight the whole thing all at once? Or is there maybe a secret way to make it disappear? Keep that question tucked away in your mind as we start our tale.
Chapter 1, Dylan's Big Water Challenge. Meet our brave hero today, a boy named Dylan. And Dylan's invisible dragon? Well, it lived at the local indoor swimming pool. Just picture it. The loud, echoing sounds of splashing water, that strong smell of chlorine, the bright, shimmering surface of the pool. For most kids, this was a giant, fun playground. But for Dylan, standing right there at the edge of the water, it was a profound mystery full of unknown, scary things. For 20 whole minutes, every single kid in the swim class had been splashing and playing. Everyone except Dylan. He just stood there at the edge in his swim trunks, arms crossed super tight over his chest, just watching the water like it might do something incredibly unpredictable at any given second. He wasn't splashing, he wasn't smiling, he was just watching, completely frozen by that invisible dragon.
And the thing is, Dylan was trying so hard. He really didn't want to be afraid. Actually, he'd already been to this exact pool 4 times before, and every single one of those 4 times, he stood in that exact same spot, had the exact same silent, worried little conversation with himself, and then he just walked right back to the bleachers. It wasn't some loud, screaming, crying panic. No, it was much quieter than that. It was just this cold, icy certainty in his mind that something bad would happen the very moment he stepped in.
Chapter 2, A Very Clever Coach. Enter Coach Rivera, and she didn't do what you'd normally expect. She didn't pull him aside, and she definitely didn't give him some long, loud pep talk about how he just needed to be brave. Instead, she had this completely different, almost magical strategy to help our hero face his water dragon. She just calmly walked right over to where Dylan was standing, dangled her own feet in the sparkling water, looked up at him, and gave him one tiny instruction. She said, "Sit here for a minute." That's it. She didn't rush him toward the deep end. She didn't even try to convince him it was safe. She just offered him one tiny, incredibly small step.
Chapter 3, Taking Tiny, Brave Steps.
You see, Coach Rivera gave Dylan's nervous system, his mind and his body, smaller and smaller things to be afraid of. She was breaking that giant, towering dragon down into tiny, harmless little lizards. She knew that if she made the step small enough, his fear would literally just run out of material. So step 1, Dylan sat on the edge. The water felt cold on his feet. And guess what? Nothing bad happened. Then Coach Rivera whispered, "Now just slide into your knees." Step 2, he slid into his knees. And do you know what happened then? Still nothing. No dragon, no danger. Finally, step 3, he slipped into the waist-deep water and just held on tightly to the wall. With every single step, he realized he was totally safe. And by the end of that first session, something truly magnificent happened. Now, Dylan hadn't swum a whole lap or anything, but in that waist-deep water, holding onto the wall, he finally let go for 3 whole seconds before grabbing back on. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds of pure monumental victory over his fear. To someone else, maybe it doesn't sound like much, but to Dylan, it was absolutely everything. But hey, the story absolutely doesn't end there. The very next swim session, Dylan came back, and he didn't have to start from square one. His dragon was already so much smaller. This time he let go of that wall for a massive 10 seconds. He was realizing that he could survive this, and his courage was growing, drop by drop, second by second. And then by the session right after that, you guys, he swam across the shallow end. Our brave hero, who just days before couldn't even dip his toe without feeling that cold certainty of danger, boldly made it all the way across the shallow end of the pool. He completely transformed the way he saw the water, and he did it without ever having to fight a giant, overwhelming battle. Chapter 4, The the secret magic of bravery. So you might be wondering, why did this strategy work so perfectly to dissolve Dylan's fear? Well, because what actually changed wasn't Dylan's courage, it was his strategy. The secret is this big, fancy psychological term called graduated exposure. Kids and parents, listen up, because this is the magical secret. Graduated exposure simply means shrinking fear by moving toward it one tiny step at a time. It is the absolute magic of making a massive fear shrink using tiny, completely survivable steps. When you take a little step and realize you survived it, your brain goes, oh, I guess that wasn't so scary after all. We usually handle scary things in one of two ways, right? The old way is trying to defeat fear in one big, epic battle. That means holding your breath, crossing your fingers, and taking a giant, terrifying leap of courage. But the new way, Dylan's way, is to dissolve fear in small, survivable doses. You don't have to take a huge leap. You just have to take one tiny step, let the fear melt away just a little bit, and then take another. And this brings us to the beautiful moral of our explainer adventure today. Fear disappears when you give it something small to deal with first. I just want to gently remind both the kids listening right now and the parents too, you really do not have to leap to make progress. Just move one step closer to the thing that scares you, survive it, and let that actual feeling of survival teach you something a pep talk never, ever could. Chapter 5, Your Turn to Be Brave. So my young heroes, this is where you take the lesson from Dylan's journey and bring it right into your own world. Because you get to be the heroes of your very own adventures now. Think about it. What is your invisible dragon? What's that thing that gives you that cold, icy feeling? I'm going to leave you with this final, wonderful question to think about today. What is your smallest, brave step? Just the absolute smallest, tiniest, most survivable step you could take toward it this week. I know for sure you can do it just like Dylan did. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer adventure. If you loved learning about the magic of bravery today, please subscribe to StorySpark Studio. Don't forget to ring that little bell so you never miss a new story. Share this adventure with all your friends, and please leave a comment below telling me your absolute favorite part of Dylan's story. Until next time, keep taking those tiny, brave steps.